Firstly, my apologies for having to miss last week. Unfortunately, I had to take my father to the hospital, so thanks to David for filling in for me at short notice to keep the lesson going. So that was good. Anyway, we're back on deck today, and I have with me Bobby Zhang. Say hello, Bobby.
Hello.
All right, now let's find out a little bit about Bobby. How old are you?
11.
11. And which school do you go to?
Tuckerwood
Primary. All right, and your rating, it says there is 934, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, that's not too bad. Now, what's happened to your rating graph there? It looks like you're sort of stuck on 900.
Yeah.
Last 2 years, you're not studying enough, or?
I wasn't playing that much tournaments or something.
Okay, well, hopefully you can play a lot of tournaments soon and get that rating moving up. So that's Bobby's profile. Right, now the position we had a look at today, some of you have recorded your ideas. It's actually a position from the game we're going to look at. So I'll give you the solution as we move into the game. All right, the game we're going to have a look at today is one of Bobby's games from the Australian Junior, where Bobby was white against McKinley Keys. Now, before we start into the game, now you're pretty young, 11, maybe 10 when you played the game or something like that?
Yeah.
All right. What do young players tend to do when they're playing chess? When they see a good move, what do?
They do it straight away.
They do it straight away. Yeah, young players find it very hard to think and take their time and look at alternatives, and they see a good move, they sort of rush out and play it. So we're going to have a look at your game today and see whether there are any good moves we might have missed if we had been a little bit slower and things like that. See if we can get you into a pattern of playing slow and steady, particularly as we've got some tournaments coming up with a slower time control. All right, let's get started. So white to play, and we start off, and it's a really boring opening. Do you know the name of this opening?
No.
This is called the Petrov defense, and if generally black plays it if he wants to have a draw because it's so symmetrical. So what happened was you took his pawn, he challenged your knight, you went back, and then he got his pawn back. So you thought you'd pin, he went to block the pin, and you chased his knight back, and his knight went back. So we've played half a dozen moves, and we've got really boring symmetrical position already.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Right, now I'd like people to have a think about what they do for white. We're going to have our first poll. Let me see if I've got it set up. Here we go. I'll give you a choice of 4 moves for white. You can swap off the queens. Queen takes e7. You can play knight c3. You can play d4. Or you could play bishop g5. So they're the 4 alternatives we're going to look at. So let me just see if I can get this poll organised. White should play. All right, so again, queen takes queen, knight c3, d4 or bishop g5. So everyone vote what move you'd like to play for white. Knight c3 is at the lead. Queen e7 is getting a bit of support. Bishop g5 is getting support. d4, not many. Knight c3 is still in the lead. I'll give you another couple of seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, let's close the poll. I can press the button. Here we go. Let's have a look. So, most people like knight c3. Bishop g5, not too bad. Queen takes queen, some, and d4 is the last. All right, Bobby, which one do you like?
Knight c3.
Why do you like knight c3?
Because it develops a knight.
Okay, well, what about the other ones? Aren't they developing moves, like bishop g5? That's a developing move.
It doesn't really do anything.
Doesn't do anything? Wouldn't it be threatening to take that knight and double the pawns?
Yeah.
Would that be good?
Kind of.
Okay, what about d4? That's getting more space in the centre?
That's good, but it's not really getting backed up by that many pieces.
Okay, and what about queen takes queen?
Black would just take back with the bishop.
And is that good for black or good for white?
Good for black because it's developing a piece while taking back.
All right, okay, now this is one of the things I want to focus on today, is swapping pieces, because it's very noticeable that some of you guys, particularly the younger ones, you're very keen to swap pieces, and we need to really decide what are the rules, whether we should do a swap or shouldn't do a swap of two equal pieces, like bishop for knight or bishop for bishop, something like that. So let me think. So let's say we were white, Bobby. When would we want to swap piece? Can you give me an example of when would be good for us to swap a piece?
When they mark up the pawns.
Yep, so if you stuff up his pawn structure by swapping, that would be good. All right. Any other idea when you might want to swap a piece?
When it opens up the king.
Yes, if you're trying to attack him and it opens up the king. Yep. Any other idea?
No.
All right. What about if you were winning the game on material? What's the rule we have there?
If you're winning on material, swap.
Swap pieces, and if you're losing on material, you swap pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're ahead on material, swapping pieces would be good. All right. So that's 3 instances that are good. All right. Now, when would it be bad to swap pieces? Do you think?
When you're down on material.
Down on material, that'd be bad. And one more?
When you do it for fun.
No. What could he reply? Like in this game, you said you didn't want to do queen takes queen because
it will take back with the developing
he
move.
takes back with developing moves. So it's bad to swap if he takes back with the developing move. Because let's see what's happened here. This is what you actually did in the game. Actually, we'll go back. So here, we've got a position, and who's the move ahead? Black's the move ahead. Now, what we should do, what the normal move in this position is bishop g5, and what happens then is black swaps the queen, you recapture with developing move, now you're threatening his knight, and he's got to go there. So now who's the move ahead?
Me.
You, yes. So bishop g5, and forcing him to swap instead of you swapping, so that would have been a much better way of doing it. But it sounds like you know that rule now, so next time we don't swap if he's recapturing with developing move, if we can help it. All right,
yeah.
So then we plotted on, you developed, he castled, that's all good. G3, maybe, he brings his knight out, you develop, then he's a bit naughty, he moved a piece twice in the opening. Now, why did he want to go there?
To pin my king and, fork my king with the rook.
Rook, okay, so what should you do? Can you get out of it, or is it a good move for him and you can't get out of it?
Just castle.
If you castle, isn't he going to take the pawn and he'd be a pawn down?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a pawn down?
No.
No, okay. So can we stop him taking that pawn?
Yes.
How can we do that?
We could move our knight to d4.
We could move our knight to d4. What if he chased it away with c5 or something, though?
No.
That'd be a bit of a problem. Is there any other way we could defend it?
We can... I don't think so.
Okay, what about if we just play king here? Wouldn't that defend it?
Yes.
So would that be good or bad?
Bad, because now you can't castle.
Okay, so which is better, losing a pawn for nothing or not being able to castle?
They're pretty equal.
Pretty equal. Right, in this position, whether you need to castle or not is probably not too big a problem, because like the queens are off and your king, maybe you can move your queenside bishop and your king goes to d2 and your king's pretty comfy. The next move you can play a3 and chase his knight back. So in this position you decided to castle, but I think probably on reflection moving the king across to save the pawn would have been a little bit better. All right, so we went for castles. He took the free pawn, so he's a pawn up. We have to move our rook, that's fair enough. Then he went back again, so he's attacking our d3 pawn. So we better have a go at moving that out of the way. Now, what move should black play here?
I think he should just move his knight back.
Move his knight back. Why should he move his knight back?
To attack the pawn.
Isn't the pawn defended though?
Yeah.
So would that be a good attack if it's defended?
Not really. Not
really. Isn't the knight in an attacking position now? So you're retreating when you don't have to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like one of those things I talk about with pins. So some of you guys, you move your bishop out to do a pin and then straight away you take the knight. it's much better to wait till the bishop is attacked by, say, pawn to h6 or a6 or something, then you take the knight. So here, black's got his knight and attacking his posse. He should wait till you play a3 and chase him away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's sort of wasting it. So knight c6 isn't the best, so find me a better move for black. What's he trying to do? Shouldn't he be developing his pieces?
Yeah.
So which piece should he develop?
The bishop.
Where should he put it?
To f5.
Yes, yes. So that's sort of obvious move. Why is that the good spot for the bishop?
Because you're developing a piece while
make an attack on the rook. Yeah, so it's like gain of tempo. So it's where black played bishop takes queen back and gained a move is like developing with a gain of tempo here. So now your rook has to go away and hide again. Okay, what should white do now? Oh, hang on, black's go. Knight. Oh, knight g4. What do you think of that? Has that got you worried? He's got an attack going on your king?
It didn't worry me too much.
Why not?
Because I don't know what he's threatening.
He's not threatening anything, is he?
Yeah.
Is that a good spot for the knight?
It's in the attacking spot.
But if it's not going to attack, can you just chase him away?
Yes.
So then he's just wasting time, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's a silly move. So what do we do? What do you think we should do about it?
H3.
Yeah, let's just chase him away. So silly move from black. So black gained a move before with bishop e7 and gained a move with bishop f5, but he just wasted a move, if not two moves, knight g4 and back again. So that was nice of him. All right, whites go. What do we play here? g4. Tell me why you want to play g4.
To shoot the bishop off.
Where do you reckon the bishop's going to go?
E6.
So is that going to be good for you or bad for you or what?
It chases the bishop out of the attack.
Right. What if his bishop came down to d3 or went to g6 or something? Would that be keeping his bishop in a good spot?
Yes.
So g4, does it have any disadvantages, g4?
It opens up my king a bit.
It opens up your king a little bit. Maybe the queens aren't on, so it's not such a big deal. So g4 may be a little bit dodgy. All right, let's see what he does. He goes down to d3, hitting our rook. Okay, where should we put that rook?
On E1.
E1 or D1? What's the better one?
E1.
Why is E1 better?
I mean D1.
D1's better, is it? So why would D1 be better than E1?
Because if I go to E1, black can forfeit 2 rooks.
That's right, yeah. So a lot of juniors would say, as you played in the game, you played rook E1, you say, look, I'm attacking his bishop. And they just stop thinking there. But you've got to really say, what's he going to reply? Because maybe he can jump in knight c2 and fork your rooks. Maybe here it's not so good because you get the bishop and the knight might be trapped eventually. So it's a bit unclear. He decided to protect his bishop, and now you're sitting here thinking, oh dear, he can still go knight c2. I'm in a little bit of strife. So you moved your rook again. So see what's happened? Before, if you had gone straight there, it would be his go. Now you've given him a free move. You've let his rook go to e8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a boo-boo. So we must always ask ourselves, what's he going to reply to see how we go. Okay. Black's go. What does he come up with? He wants to attack your rook. Doesn't seem to do much, does it? So we'll just go up there. Now, what is white threatening here? Have you got a threat or not?
I don't think I have a threat.
You haven't got a threat?
Yeah.
So if it was your move, what move would you like to do?
I don't know.
Okay, so you rook on, all right. So let me think. So what, we're trying to decide on a move for white. Maybe you've got a good position. So often I say try and put your pieces on good squares, or if he's got some pieces on good squares, you chase them away or swap them off.
Yeah.
So would that give you an idea what you could do? Has he got any piece you want to chase away?
The bishop for the knight.
Yeah. Well, the bishop, we can't chase him away because he's defended by the knight. What else could we do then?
A3.
We could do A3. Wouldn't that be good? Because when the knight moves, what happens?
I take the bishop.
You take the bishop. So you do have a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a bit of a threat. So black has to be careful. So he goes back there. I don't know that I would have gone there. I might have gone all the way to G6 if it was me. But never mind. Okay. White to play. All right. Now you chase him away. Assuming he wants to go away. He could have gone there. He wants to go back. Yep. All right. That's cool. All right. Now, I want people to have a look at this position. It's white's go. Tell me on your question what move you think you might play for white. We're a pawn down, so we're losing on material, but we just chased him back a little bit. So we've got to think of something we could do. So start typing in what would be your choice for white's move here. So Bobby's thinking hard. Well, we've got lots of different moves coming in. Sean's gone B4. Sam's gone knight H4. Jason's gone knight B5. Mitch has gone knight G5. Rebecca wants knight B5. Evan wants G5. Sean wants knight B5. There's lots of different moves. You guys can't make up your mind. D5 from Rebecca. Thomas wants rook E2. Okay. Rook D1. Knight takes E4 from Mitch. William likes D5. All right, Bobby, you've had a bit of a think.
Yep.
What move do you think might be good?
Knight B5 to get my pawn back.
Knight B5. Okay, so that would be attacking the pawn on C7. Is that going to be a good attack? Can he get out of it or not?
Not really.
Not really. He can't defend that pawn. He can't drop his bishop back or his rook back and defend it?
He can.
So let's say he played bishop D8, say.
Yeah, I can take the other pawn.
Ah, the other pawn, isn't the knight protecting that though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So your knight would be sitting out there all on its lonesome looking silly. He's going to play A6 and chase you back again, and then you're giving him free moves. Right, so this is an example where it's like your plan is to make a threat, but he can get out of the threat. So it's not a real good plan. Now, remember a minute ago when he had the bishop on C2 protected by the knight?
Yeah.
Right, we looked at that and we said that's a dangerous position for him because if the knight wasn't there, you could take the bishop. So you were threatening to get rid of the knight. All right, now in this position, he's got a bishop on E4. Now you're attacking that with a knight, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you can't really take it because it's defended by a knight.
Mm-hmm.
Does that give you an idea what you could do?
G5.
Yeah. So we think, what about G5? Who said G5? Evan said G5. Well done, Evan. So, okay, now if he moves the knight, we get a free bishop, so that's no good. So what would he have to do?
Maybe swap off.
Swap. He'd have to take our knight. Now, we got two people. We could take his knight or his bishop. Which one do you think we should take?
The bishop first.
You want to take, why do you want to take the bishop?
Actually, the knight first.
The knight. Why do you want to take the knight first?
Because after you take the knight, you can get like black does nothing. You can take the bishop too.
Yeah, you've got a double attack. So here, so it's piece for piece, but you're attacking the bishop with the pawn, and you're attacking the bishop with the bishop. So like if he plays bishop take f6, you can just take the bishop, and if he takes bishop takes e2, you take the other bishop. Let's say he does that one. So you're a piece up. Now he can grab your pawn, but you drop back, so you've got what, piece for some pawns? Not too bad, you were a pawn down before.
Mm-hmm.
So you picked up material. So that would have probably been good for you. So that was a little case. Okay. So the way you find this is you look for sort of danger signals. You've got one piece protected by another piece. So your brain says, aha, if I can undermine the protector, that might be a good tactic for me. All right, now in the game, I think you played something different. You played D5. Which probably isn't too bad. What did he do? He chopped you, chopped back, and his knight went over there. What's he up to over there? Why did he go there?
To go to B3.
Yep, he's going to go B3 and fork our rooks. All right, so let's get our rook out of there. Now he jumps in. We go across. Oh, he didn't take our bishop. He jumped back there. He's after the other bishop. This is pretty sneaky. And he's attacking a rook and a bishop, so we have to play rook E3. And then he goes chop, chop. Okay, so how do you reckon you're going here? You're a pawn down? What do you think?
I'm pretty weak because my king 3 opened up.
All right. It's true your king's a bit open. Now the question is, so we know that there's a factor in chess about having an open king, and that might be bad or it might not be bad. So what we need to decide is, in this position, is that going to be a really bad thing for us, or is it not really relevant?
Not really relevant.
Why not?
Because the queen's off.
The queens are off and he hasn't got an attack going, has he? No, it's not like he's attacking your king. Right, so that's no big deal. All right. So do you think you're better, you're worse, you're equal?
Pretty equal.
Yeah, you're a pawn down, but it's not too bad because you've got your pieces developed, you've got a bit more space. So you're hanging in there all right. All right. So it's your turn to play. Let's have a little poll. Oh, no, we won't have a poll because people have seen the position. So what move do you want to play here, do you think?
Not really sure.
Okay, so when you don't know what to do, what question can you ask yourself, or what idea can you come up with to help you find a move?
How can I start an attack?
Not so much start an attack. So, like, let's have a look at your pieces. So your rook on F3, is that in a good spot?
Yeah.
Not too bad. Well, your knight on C3, is that in a good spot?
Yeah.
What about your rook on B1?
Not really.
Not really. What about your bishop on C1?
Not good at all.
Not good at all. All right. So what we do, when we don't know what to do, we look around and we see our worst placed piece and we try and improve the placement of that. So let's start off with that bishop. So obviously we should move that bishop somewhere. So where should we put it?
To G5.
G5. All right. Now, did you look at anywhere else, or G5 just so obvious that that's where we're going to go?
We could go to E3.
All right. So why do you prefer G5 to E3?
It attacks a piece.
Okay. E3 attacks a pawn.
Yeah.
But G5 is better because it attacks a piece.
Yeah.
All right. Let's ask everyone, because I'm not sure myself. So type in whether you prefer bishop to E3 or bishop to G5. Which do you think is the better spot for white to put the bishop? So Thomas and Evan have gone E3, Sam's gone G5, Ryan's gone F4, just to be different. Mitch E3, William E3, Roman G5, Jason G5, Roy E3, Bradley. Most of them are going for E3. Now you went for G5. So why do you like G5? Explain it to these people who are going to E3. Attacks a piece?
And my rook's attacking it as well.
All right. So are you going to take it?
Maybe.
Maybe. Is that a yes or a no? You're threatening to take it?
No.
Why not?
Because it's already defended quite nicely.
You'd just take back with the bishop, and then the bishop would be in a good spot, wouldn't it? Yeah. So that's like we've been talking before about a bad exchange, where you're just swapping piece for piece, and he's recapturing with a good move?
Yeah.
All right. So what's the bishop doing on G5 then? Is that like stopping his knight going somewhere, or? Not really. So what's it doing on G5? Is that a good spot?
No.
No, it's a bad spot. It's like threatening a piece or a pin but it's not a good pin because it's not going to be a take. All right, so the question is, this is back to the diagram everyone looked at the start. Oh, hang on, where are we? What's going on here? That's not the move. Oh, well, I've got the moves back to the front. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I'd left out a move for black. Apologies, everyone. Bishop G5. All right, this was the position we had. Now, I asked you at the start of the lesson to choose a move for black. Some of you typed in moves, but not too many. So let's do the black thing now. If you were black, what would you play here? He's gone to take on D5. That's pretty tricky. Mitch has gone knight E4. Ryan's gone C6. William likes D5. Sam's gone knight H5. Looks a bit dodgy. Might take it. Roman's gone H6. Haran's got knight takes G4. That's interesting. As is Rebecca. Zoe likes knight takes D5. Here we've got lots of moves. All right, so Bobby, we need to choose. What do you reckon would be good?
I don't know. They're all pretty good.
They're all pretty good. Okay. Well, when I first looked at this position, when white played bishop G5, I thought, oh, well, that's a silly move because it's a bad pin. I'll just play H6 and chase him away. And if he wants to swap, then that'll be good for me. But then I sort of worried and said, if my bishop's on F6, maybe he's got knight to B5 and he's attacking my A pawn and my C pawn. He might be picking up a pawn. So I said to myself, all right, if it were me, maybe I'll play A6 to stop that knight, and then next move I'll play H6, chase his bishop away and make him look stupid. Now I was thinking positionally, I wasn't thinking tactically. So when I plugged it into my computer, the computer came up with a funny move. Though you played rook there, the computer came up with knight takes G4. Now, what would happen here? If the pawn takes the knight, what does black do?
Takes a bishop.
Bishop, and we've got a pawn back. Maybe, all right. And what if he plays bishop takes bishop? When we take the bishop back, he's going to take our knight, isn't he? Or is there something else we can do?
We can move our knight to E5.
Yeah, that's right. So if he was to take this, we've got this sneaky in between move knight here, attacking the rook. So if the rook moves, then we take the bishop. So we'd be picking up a nice delicious G4 pawn. All right, so for those few of you who saw knight takes G4, so that was Haran and Rebecca, I think. Well done to you two guys. So in the game, he actually played rook E5. That looks like a double attack on the bishop and the pawn, but Bobby just drops his bishop back hitting the rook, which looks pretty good. Now, black played a funny move, I think. Let's have a look. Knight E4. Was that a surprise move for you?
Yes.
Doesn't look like a very good move, does it? What could you do about that?
Well, the knight's planning to go on D2.
No, the bishop would take you. So that wouldn't be a good plan. But weren't you threatening something when you played bishop F4?
To take the rook.
You could take the rook, and he's left it there. Would that be good to take the rook?
If I take the rook, the bishop won't be protecting D2.
So he goes knight D2, and then he's forming both the rooks, and he's getting the piece back, maybe. Okay, that might be fairly equal. All right. So what can we do? Have we got any good move?
Rook E3.
Could try rook E3. So he would probably do knight takes attacking our rook, so that might get out of it. All right, let's see what you did in the game. You came up with rook e1. Okay, so now you're attacking his knight and you're attacking his rook. That looks pretty menacing, doesn't it? Well, let me have a look here. What move are we up to? Rook e1. Rook e1. Okay. Now he did knight takes c3. He did knight takes c3. What about this move? Have a look at this. He could have come there. What do you think about that for a move?
Sneaky.
That's pretty sneaky. Now, if you take his rook with the bishop, what happens?
He takes my rook.
He takes your rook, and that'll be terrible. So you might have to play rook there. So what could he do now? His rook's attack, so would he swap off rooks or would he do something else?
Knight f3 check.
Knight f3 check, that looks really sneaky. What if he does king f1? So he takes your rook on e1, your bishop can take his rook on e5, so that's rook for rook. Is there a more sneaky move he could do? You looked at all checks and captures? Some of you guys are, yep. Some of you guys are finding the right answer. Ryan's found the right answer. William? Come on, Bobby, we need a good check or capture.
Knight takes h3.
Knight takes h3. Whoops, not that one. Hang on, I've got to pick the wrong one. Knight takes h3 check. So now if the king moves, knight takes bishop, you're winning. If rook takes knight, rook takes rook. And he's winning. So that was a really sneaky line that he missed. That's again, that's the junior thing. It's like I can swap off pieces. I see a swap, I do it. I don't look for a better move like knight g5. So he just jumped in with knight takes c3. Okay, now you snaffled his rook. Looks good. He took back. You took his knight. So how are you going now?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So why are you going pretty good?
I'm winning in exchange.
Yep, you've got an exchange for a pawn. So you're up a little bit in material, and your rooks, they're both pretty attacking rooks. And his pieces are all on the back. So we were losing before, but we're going a little bit better now, and we might be winning. So this is good. Now, what do you think he should play? You're attacking his e-pawn.
f6.
He could play f6, something like that, or maybe rook e8. But he played a move. Does that look like a funny move?
Yeah.
What's that doing? Why did he go there?
Nothing.
I don't know, it's a mystery. Okay, so he's made a mystery move. So what can we do? We could take his e-pawn, we could take his c-pawn. What do you think?
Takes the c-pawn.
Take the c. Why do you want to take the c-pawn and not the e-pawn?
Because if I take the e-pawn, the bishop goes to f6.
Yep. Yep. So taking the c-pawn, it'd be the whole exchange up for nothing then, and you have this nice passed d-pawn. It'd be really good. Do you remember what you did in the game?
Take the e-pawn.
You took the wrong pawn. So why did you take the wrong pawn? I don't know, but maybe you haven't asked yourself that question. What question should you say?
What would he reply?
What would he reply? So he's got this reply. So maybe he was setting a trap. He played bishop h4, hoping he'd take the e-pawn, and then he'd go back and trap you. So that was pretty sneaky if he tried to do that, but he was lucky he didn't take the other pawn. All right. What do you think White should do now? He's attacking your rook. If you move it, he's going to take the other rook.
Just takes the c-pawn.
But then you lose the rook and you'll be a bishop down. That'd be no good.
Yeah.
So we've got to do something about that rook on e5. What could we do? Should we protect it? Should we move it?
Protect it.
All right, how do you protect it?
Rook e3 or f4.
All right, so which would be the best, you think? Rook e3 or f4?
F4.
Yeah, I think f4 would be best, because then if he takes, you've got the 2 pawns in the middle there, and you're still attacking his c pawn, and his rook can't do anything naughty because you get him in back rank mates and stuff. So f4 would probably be the best one. In the game, you went rook there, and we had a swap. Okay, now we're in a rook ending. All right, and it's equal pawns. So let me see. Let's have a little quiz while we're waiting. Rook endings are tricky things, so we'll ask you guys what you think. Is this better for white, better for black, or equal? So it's black to play, materials equal, but position mightn't be equal. So we'll have a poll. Do you think it's better for white, better for black, or equal? So everyone vote in the poll. So white's hit the lead so far. Black's making a little comeback. Equal. Oh no, equal's ahead of black now. White's still well in the lead. Give you another couple of seconds to close the poll. All right, we'll close the poll. Let's have a look. So 69% said white was better. Some said equal, and probably only 1 or 2 said black. Right. What do you think, Bobby? Who's winning?
I think black.
You think black's winning?
Yeah.
But everyone said white was winning. Okie dokie. Well, we need a bit of help here. See if Rebecca's awake. Or maybe Zoe. Hello, Zoe. Are you there? Say something, Zoe. Nope. Zoe's asleep. I was going to get her to help me, but she's not paying attention. What about James? James, are you there? Can you talk to me?
Yes.
Hello, James. Did you vote for black or for white or equal?
I voted for white.
You voted for white?
Yes.
Okay, Bobby's saying black's better. So why do you reckon white's better?
Well, the king could get more active in the endgame, and his rook is doing more than the king.
So he's got a better rook, and his king's closer to the centre. Anything else?
I'm not sure.
All right, so you've got 2 factors that are good for white. So thank you very much, James. All right, what do you think, Bobby? Has he talked you into it, or you still reckon black's better?
It's a bit equal because white has this isolated pawn in d5.
Yeah. So what's the most important thing in rook endings? What are you trying to do? If you've got the rook, what are you going to do with it?
Take all the pawns with it.
Yeah, but if he's protecting them or taking your pawns, how do you position your rook? What's the thing you're trying to do in a rook ending?
Put the rook behind the pawn.
If you've got a passed pawn, you put it behind it, but you haven't got a passed pawn. So what are we going to do with our rook?
Go to the e7.
Yeah. The most important thing in rook endings that I hope everyone knows is active rook. You're going to try and get active rook and tie your opponent down to defending. So in this position, true white has an isolated pawn, but if he can get his rook on the 7th rank and start gobbling those pawns, he'll be going okay. But remember, black can't do anything naughty yet because he'll get back rank mated. But if black can stop him gobbling those pawns and chase his rook off the 7th rank, then black might be a little bit better because white's got the isolated pawn. So what happened is in the game, he went f6, you jumped up to e7, looks good. What do you reckon black should play here? You're attacking his c pawn.
Rook c8.
Rook c8. Would you look at any other move, or that's obvious because that's the only move to defend the pawn?
You could do rook d8.
Rook d8, so you could counter-attack his pawn. So he takes your pawn, you take his pawn, but then he gobbles another pawn. He'd be a pawn ahead. Any other move you'd want to look at?
C6.
C6. Is that going to save your pawns? Not really. Now, Rebecca and Sean and Ryan have all come up with a good idea. What if black plays rook f7? What are you going to do about that? You're going to swap?
Swapping's bad, isn't it?
Swapping's bad because you're isolated pawn. His king might zoom up and attack that and everything. So what would you do instead? Retreat? What do we say about active rook? We could check him. He has to go back. What could we do then? Yep, and it's a draw. So those guys out there who said the position was equal were probably right. But it's only equal if people play the best move. And, where are we? Black, in fact, played rook c8. So that's passive rook. So you've got the active rook, and his rook's all tied down to the cool. Well done. All right. So he went up. He tried to chase your king away. You went there. Now he panicked because, see, look, his king, he can't move his rook because you grab the c pawn. If he plays king e8, you grab the g pawn. So you're crushing him with your active rook. So he sort of panicked and goes c6. Now you could take him or you could keep going. You kept going, probably not too bad. He panicked again, played b5. Okay, what should we do here? You want to take something or move our king up, or what do you think?
Take a7.
Take a7, then he's going to attack our d pawn. And if we push it up, then his king's going to attack our d pawn. It's possible. All right. I think in the game you just moved your king up. You're still sitting on him. Then you went to attack your rook. Now, you've got a choice here. You can gobble things or check him on e7. You went and gobbled over there, so you're a pawn ahead now with active rook. This is all looking great, and you're threatening d7 check. So he has to play rook over there. So that's good. Now, what should we do? We could, there's a few things we could do here. We could take him on h7. We can go to e7 check. We could take on a7. We go to g8 check and swap off rooks. What appeals, Bobby?
We could take the pawns.
Yeah. Probably much as much as I think I'd take those two pawns, and I'd be two pawns up then, and I'd have a passed h pawn. So I'd be throwing that h pawn, keeping my rook on the 7th. That'd probably be pretty cool. In the game, you decided that now we're going to swap off rooks. It was a good plan. So let's have a look, see what happened. We swap rooks. All right, what move should you do now?
King f4.
All right, why not king e4?
Because I won't get to the pawn in time.
Which pawn?
The d6.
But now this is a tricky thing about king endings. Kings don't have to move in a straight line to get the same spot. So if you go to e4, you can still go to f5 the following move.
Yeah.
See, so it's no different, but you can also go across to the d file. So you went to f4, but king e4 would have done exactly the same thing, only given you more choices. So there's a little bit of a boo-boo. Whoops, hang on, I've got it back. King f4, then he naturally, he pushed his pawn. All right, you kept going. Whoops, now he's going to get a passed pawn over here. I'm a bit worried. So let's swap off. All right, now I think we need some help here, folks, because it's a bit complicated. We've got a passed pawn and we're attacking his pawn, but he might be going to play a5 and a4 and a3. So type in what you think you'd like to do here in the questions. Oops. It's a little bit tricky. So Mitch has suggested king e6. Jason wants to go back to e4. Zoe wants to take on f6. Some are going to e6. g5. How about that? What do you think, Bobby? What would you like to do?
Take on f6.
Take on f6. And isn't he going to get a queen? Are you worried about him coming and getting a queen? Or can you get back and stop it?
I can get back and stop it.
Yeah. So you should take on f6. Let's have a quick look. Take on f6. So he comes here. You come here. He comes here. You come here. And you're in the square. So we go takes, king here. You stop him and your pawn's ahead and you crush him. So that would be cool. So taking on f6 would be good. Where are we? In the game, you actually decided to go backwards. You went back to e4. So he must have been panicking that he's going to get a pasty. He went up. All right, what should you do here?
King d5.
King d5, yes. Because again, kings don't have to go in a straight line to get in the same spot. So in the game, you made a little mistake, I think. Oh, you played h4. But like if you play king d4, you can play king d5 and do the same thing. So king d5 would have been good. Then you can go over and gobble his b pawn and probably win with your outside b pawn. You went h4, which is a bit strange. He took you. Now you went g5, which is a bit strange too. I'd be moving across d4 and trying to gobble those pawns. Okay, so now it's getting exciting. What's happening? So you've got passed pawns. He's got passed pawns. So you give him a friendly check. He drops back. Now, type in the question what you do here, everyone. White to play. We've got a passed pawn, but he's trying to block it, and he's got a passed pawn, and he's trying to get that past our king. So type in what you'd like to play. So Ryan's gone g6, Sam's gone king d3, Jason's gone king d4, Evan's gone g6, Zoe's gone king d5, Rebecca's gone king d3, William's gone f6. I'll put you under a bit of pressure, folks. White has a move that wins, and most of the other moves draw. So if you want to win the game, you've got to find the right move in this position, and not many of you have found it. People are still going g6 check. I think we're in strife. Bobby, what can we do? Have you found the winning move?
b3.
Yes! You played king d4, which was a boo-boo. If you had played b3, that would be fantastic, because then your one pawn is holding his two pawns. And your king can, if he plays a4 to sacrifice, your king can cover the passed pawn, so you just take it and you're fine. So now your king can rush over, gobble those two pawns, and his king will take much longer to gobble your two pawns and your b pawn and queen. So you could have won on the spot. Would have been great, but you fortunately played the wrong move, and now we have a big step off. And guess what? It's a draw. Oh, we were so close to winning. That was very unlucky. But that was an interesting game. So it was a bit up and a bit down. So what can we learn from that game, do you think? What can you remember about the game that would be good?
Don't do the first move you see.
Yeah, so don't do the first move you see, even if it looks like a really good move. Have a look around for a better move. What else can we do?
When the opponent does a move, say to yourself, and you see a good move, say to yourself, what do you reply with? Yeah,
what's he going to reply with? Now what about when he's got one piece defending another piece that you're attacking? What can you do?
Say that piece is defending the piece I'm attacking. How can you
undermine that four steps to move? So if you attack the defending piece, you might pick up a piece, which happened twice in the game. What else? And you've seen b3 in the ending, so that was good in the ending. And you got the active rook in the ending too, so that was good. You did well. So remember about the active rook. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Now, we've got a big weekend coming up this weekend. I know some of you are playing in the Vic 12 and unders at Box Hill, so good luck to you guys. I'm thinking that's probably a slower time control than you're used to, so make certain you slow down a bit and think about it and ask yourself some of those questions we've been talking about in these lessons. I know David and Carl will be there most of the time. I'm hoping to be there most of Sunday and maybe briefly on Saturday to go through your games and help you out. So good luck in that. For those of you who aren't going to the 12 and unders, if you want something to do Sunday afternoon, we've got another novice tournament at Monash. So if you want some games, have a think about entering that. Other than that, it's now school holes, so we have a break for a couple of weeks from our Thursday lessons, and I think the next one is in 3 Thursdays' time. So enjoy the break. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll see you all, if not on the weekend, then in a few weeks' time on a Thursday night. So good night, everyone.